she has been a tremendous trainer of the the district governor-elect nominees, and her involvement in Rotary is just phenomenal. She's just a great person. Anyway, her name is Susie Howe. She dedicated her career to education after graduating from the University of Kansas. She owned and operated South Shore Montessori, a private school. Now, if you don't know what that is, please Google that and look at the educational techniques of that school. And she did that until her retirement in 2019. And during the construction of that school that she learned about Rotary, the school of broker, architect, and others involved, all of whom were Rotarians. She joined Rotary in 1992, and within 6 months after she was serving on her club's board, passionate about sharing her skills in training and education. She has served Rotary as a PI trainer, that's Rotary International Trainer, as a member of the Leadership Development and Training Committee. She has also been a regional Rotary Foundation coordinator, host committee advisor to the 22 Rotary International Convention, the vice chair of the End Polio Now Countdown and History Campaign Committee. In 2005, she received the Dome City Award on behalf of all of the Houston area Rotarians after coordinating the logistics for over 650 Rotarian volunteers in the Houston Astrodome after Hurricane Katrina. The group helped hundreds of thousands of the evacuees from New Orleans over a period of about 3 weeks. She is a very, very talented fundraiser. She served on $3 million dinner committees, chaired a recent dinner event that raised $3.8 million for the Rotary Foundation. She says in her own words, if you make eye contact with me, I'm going to ask you for a contribution. The Rotary Foundation, she's also received the Rotary Foundation Citation for Meritorious Service and the Rotary Foundation Distinguished Service Award. She and her husband Bill, whom I had the great opportunity to meet and interact with down in Houston, they are Society and Request Society members. Susie is responsible for the TRI region. The one that we were attended, there are 3 zones, 25A, 25B, and 25-9. Zone 25A and region is in region 32. It includes Central America, Venezuela, Colombia, and the other zone is in the United States. That's zone 25B and 29 that cover the central part of the United States. We are honored by Susie's leadership in these 3 zones, and she continues to be an absolute role model for us all. And it gives me great, great pleasure to introduce Susie Howe.
I am so happy to be back in Kansas. Oh my gosh. But it was a toss-up. Do I wear my In Polio Now mask or my KU mask? I left my KU mask back at my chair. I am so impressed to get to meet so many friendly people. I don't know if it's because we've just gotten through the worst parts of COVID and you're just happy to see anybody, but it has been a really nice adventure coming and talking with people that I've known, some new friends I've made, and if you have any questions for me, please just come up and see me during the breaks or after the meal. because I'd be more than happy to answer any questions for you. The people I would like to thank were the 4 people that did service project talks this morning. Marshall, Jill, Isaac, and Jennifer. Weren't their presentations so touching? Many years ago when my husband asked me, Suze, why do you want to be district governor? I mean, he said, Suze, I think you'd make a great district governor. He said, why do you want to be district governor? And I said, if I can help more people do service, I'm in. So that was very important and touching for me today. I appreciate that. And I thought I would mention to you also that to be a Rotary International Director is really a big deal. Somebody mentioned the Rotary magazine today. My name's in it. Go look it up. If you have a copy, I'd be glad to autograph it. There are 17 directors worldwide in Rotary International. It's a 2-year term. This is my 2nd year. I will end June 30. And after that, the director will be from Zone 29, which is what y'all are a part of. She's from Illinois, and then the next one will be from our zones to the south in Central America, Venezuela, and Colombia. And that person won't be selected until next year, but it's something to keep in mind. We rotate selecting our director. So my territory, I have, see if somebody's taking pictures, I know where I am in my talk when I look back, because I have 5 clubs in Canada, which I verified. They were telling me 2, 3. They couldn't even come across the border for the last 18 months. 5 in Canada, all of Minnesota and the state south. I found I have 4 clubs in Oklahoma, and I met the assistant governor yesterday from my clubs in Oklahoma. Then I have most of Texas, all of Central America, Venezuela y Colombia. Gracias a Dios, yo puedo hablar en español. Thank goodness I can speak Spanish. So I will be going down to Monterey soon for the governor-elect training down there. But I am so honored. Thank you for the invitation, Governor Fred, for including me. It's been an adventure coming here. And thank you, Ivanhoe. You did an even better introduction this time than last time. Thank you. But it's just so great to be in person. As a director, I've had the opportunity to work with some great District 5680 Rotarians, including, for example, my aide, Andrea Krause. I don't know if you know, but she's on the Rotary International Strategic Planning Committee, and that is a big deal. Please give her a big round of applause. You know, to be one of 1.2 million people to be selected on that committee is a really big deal. And Jerry Apfel and I go way back. Jerry, it's good to see you again. Thank you. As a Rotarian for nearly 30 years, I have taken the opportunity to serve in many different ways and to see amazing service performed by Rotarians around our globe. We have the opportunity to participate by taking advantage of the world's best investment, the Rotary Foundation. Your investment in the Rotary Foundation serves your community, the global community, and you. The Rotary Foundation transforms your gifts into service projects that change the lives both close to home and around the world. Since it was founded more than 100 years ago, the foundation has spent more than $4 billion on life-changing, sustainable projects. With your help, we can continue to make lives better in your community and around the world. So first, participating in the Rotary Foundation allows you to invest in actions that make a difference in your local communities. For example, some of you have heard me talk about the opportunity I had to coordinate logistics for 650 volunteers for the Hurricane Katrina in the Astrodome. I was called in to to go to the Astrodome to accept 200 shelter boxes. They thought the evacuees from New Orleans would be staying in those shelter boxes. I knew that wouldn't work, and those shelter boxes were redirected along the coast because the volunteers that had stepped in all over were very happy to have those accommodations. So shelter box is very near and dear to me. But I was at the Astrodome to receive those boxes, and the guy that was there from Florida from the shelter boxes said, but whatever you do, don't go through those 2 doors. And I took that for about 2 minutes. And then I went back through those 2 doors, and Rotary had a seat at the table for logistics at the Astrodome during Hurricane Katrina. So I was in there with the chief of police, the chief of fire, FEMA, Red Cross, Metro Public Transportation, Public Health Services. Could I have a glass of water, please? Thank you. It was fascinating, 3.5 weeks from before 7 a.m. to after 7 p.m. So I would be there for the change of the people that were giving directions or updates. It was a fascinating time for me. My husband also volunteered for that during that time, and for him it was equally rewarding. He was still working, so he would go on the weekends. And his Rotary moment involves Stevie Francis. So if anybody of you basketball fans recognize the name Stevie Francis, that was his Rotary moment, accepting items from him for the evacuees. So, it has stayed with me since seeing such a need in my own community, Houston, Texas, and it is my hope that none of you face this type of need in your community. But I know you have. I've seen it. My gosh. I know that the Russell Club assisted in getting meals served to the Russell food pantry. You and the thousands of the Rotarians in our region perform service in your communities every day. Rotary is a place where we can surround ourselves with good people, so we are part of a team that continues to do good in our communities. Your donations to the Rotary Foundation come back to your community through your work, and you've used the grant dollars to serve the communities in many ways. District 5680 Rotarians are back on track to match last year's foundation donations, even though it was a tough time. I congratulate you to continue to contribute so you can continue to bring the grant dollars back into your district and also to share the good around the world. Next, participating in the Rotary Foundation allows you to invest in actions that make a difference in the world. Rotarians in our region are engaged in providing personal and financial assistance in many countries in need. You've helped to improve the quality of life to people in other countries. Many years ago, I was invited to go to join the Guerrero Eye Clinic in Guerrero, Mexico. The clinic treats cataracts and other eye issues. We know that most of us will need cataract surgery at some point in our lives, usually in our 60s and 70s. But in this area, high in the mountains, they get cataracts much younger, sometimes in their 20s. The clinic treats over 1,000 patients at each visit. That's 3 times a year. There's one going on this week. I'm here with you instead. Treating only those that are already legally blind. Here's the problem. This is the major issue because it is a culture where each family member must contribute to the family's ability to survive. Many older people who are blind commit suicide, so they are not a non-contributing burden to the family. Surgery is performed on only one eye early in the week and then the second eye later in the week. There is a long list of people who are waiting. Some of them are the Tarahumara Indians out of the caves in Mexico. I am humbled by being able to assist in this effort that allows people, many younger than myself, to once again feel like a contributing member of a family and community. You are probably thinking, I didn't know Suze was a doctor or a nurse or an engineer to go on this mission. No, you don't have to be. I got to make sandwiches, many, many sandwiches for all of the workers. So for me, it was a very rewarding experience to be able to go to the Guerrero Clinic. Next, some of you have had the opportunity to participate. Yes, in World Polio Day. How many of you have had or are planning a World Polio Day event? I know some of you have had Pints for Polio. We encourage every club to do a project. And then when you're done, upload it to the inpolionow.org website so that we can track and see the footprint of the projects we are doing to eradicate polio. My own club drank wine for ending polio, but just think, we are instrumental in the effort to eradicate polio from the face of the earth. Just think, in 1985, there were 350,000 cases of polio around the world. This year there were 2, one in Pakistan, one in Afghanistan. Both of them were in January. Many of us have forgotten or never even known what the polio epidemic was like because the United States was declared polio-free in 1979. Those of us who are too young to remember the polio epidemics can understand the fear now as we have lived through a pandemic that also has a respiratory issue associated with it. There are state fairs in this country that were canceled last year for the first time since the polio epidemic in 1946. We can now all understand and feel the fears polio brings to a community and a nation. As a member of the International Polio Plus Committee, I've had the privilege of seeing the work we continue to do to keep our promise to the children of the world, eliminating polio from Pakistan and Afghanistan. In addition, we have 4 areas of polio focus. Number 1, optimize the outbreak response. 2, fast-track a new vaccine. 3, strengthen the delivery system of high-risk areas. And 4, ensure vaccine availability to all children. I am on Zoom calls and I'm up to date on what's going on in Afghanistan especially, so if you have questions on that, please get with me later. Your donations to End Polio Now will help make these efforts come to fruition. I know District 5680 has helped spread the word about getting COVID vaccines from Sharing Smiles campaign. You are helping to promote COVID vaccinations just as you work to help ensure polio vaccinations continue around the globe. Continue to surround yourself with good people so you can continue to do the good work for those in need of our help. Then, as Rotarians, we believe that service changes the world. And sometimes we forget that participating in the Rotary Foundation helps to make a difference in you. Maya Angelou said, "I have found that among its other benefits, giving liberates the soul of the giver." Maya Angelou said, "I have found that among its other benefits, giving liberates the soul of the giver." How could you not be impacted when you participate in making the world a better place? As Rotary International President Shaker Mehta says, service is the rent we pay for the space we occupy on this earth. For those of us fortunate enough to live in abundance, we have the opportunity to make an impact around the world. Your gifts to the Rotary Foundation help to improve the communities as well as other communities and peoples in far-off places on our planet. At this time, I just wish to thank everyone for your continued support of our Rotary Foundation. And I'd like to invite District Governor Fred up here for a special gift. Fred, I know you'll be joining me in Houston because we are hosting the Rotary International Convention June 5th through 8th, preceded by the Peace Conference. And Orby here is our symbol, the host operating symbol of the International Convention. And in fact, if you would like the video, it's available on our website. So here I am presenting to you Orby, our mascot.
I got to have a picture with Orby down in Houston. That was cool.
Yes.
Thank you for being with us. Thank you for giving the words of wisdom. And just thank you for engaging with this audience. So.
You bet. My pleasure. Thank you so much.
Standing ovation coming and going, yes. and again, a token of our appreciation, if you look inside, I'm told there is a small KU luggage tag. And in addition to that, I want you to know that I've made a contribution to the Rotary Foundation in your name. Well, okay, the district. But I'm part of the district. And this way we can keep making my contact. All right, everyone, we have one more program as part of this session. I would, let's see, where are we on this? Where? Andrew, yes, I know. By way of introduction, one of the greatest challenges for any nonprofit organization, especially one in which the leadership changes frequently, is to avoid the ad hoc trap. It may be very exciting to live in the moment personally, but it's not a very good management technique. So we're going to take a few minutes here to look at another piece of the Rotary, you almost said it and I did, Rotary Puzzle Strategies. So please welcome past District Governor Andrea Krause of the Russell Club, Andrea served as the last governor of the former District 5670 and currently is our district grants chair.